Ever get the feeling, in a lot of ways, your life has been hijacked, and then pressures of being pulled to choose um, left or right, Democrat, Republic, Christian, Muslim, Buddhism, whatever the case may be, etc. Is for the last year or so, the idea of being pulled, right, in all these different directions. It leads you to, and especially having time, you know, to cipher through things, pondering and wondering. And I can come to this conclusion. Regardless of our language, our colors, whatever, class, size, uh, sex orientation, whatever the case may be, etc., is all things that divide a people. And at some point in time, come to the understanding that in order to unite and build something different, you sometimes have to step out of those boxes. I'm able to find the creator in just about every religion, every culture, ethnicity of people. I feel that we are all talking about the same one God. And what separates us is people have made boundaries, what they call bridges and walls, and carved out this world. So much so that those walls and barriers begins to build other walls and barriers, and the focus of just the one God that we're all praising, that we're all trying to find our way back to, right? Like the feeling of not knowing what the end is like, what's after life. And then hearing Yeshua one time speak to a disciple saying that no man knoweth the hour, nor do any man knoweth what's after death, after life. And in that, I took it as him saying, in some sort of sense, taking the words and dissecting it. It means we're all just trying to get back to the beginning, even after what we call the end, because we come from somewhere. It all comes and starts from somewhere. To have been pulled in all these many different directions, and all I ever wanted to do was feel loved. All I ever wanted to do was find peace in a space and time, and to have people being used as vultures to come and pick at that peaceful space, to where a walk in the park is no longer a walk in the park. A prayer is no longer a prayer. Meditation stretch is no longer a meditation yoga stretch for the mind, body, and soul, spirit. And then to hear all of these things, well, if you were across, then you must be Christian. Well, I hope that I have shown through that a lot of these things that we see, these symbols, they predate what it means to you. And so whether it's my crown on my head, what they call turbans, it means something different to me. Instead of allowing all these boxes to divide me from people, I thank the Creator, all the messengers and prophets, His Son. I Thank Him for His creation of the moon, the stars, Mother Earth herself. For all these things are creation of a creator. Us as people are so narrow-minded that we build these walls up and we separate it. And then in that separation, we say things like, well, if you don't adhere or agree with what I'm saying, then you must be against what I'm saying. And that is not the case. I challenge the world to try to find the unity, the connectiveness in everything instead of the dividedness. And I thought it was telling for me to write down my thought and keep track of it. For I understand that my phone is no longer my phone. There is no honesty and transparency. In the last year, dating back from last September to this November, I've done multimedia platforms. And I'm almost 100% sure that it did not reach the world as I gave and intended it to reach the world as I do these things. For it is so easy to take others' face and voices and manipulate it. I have walked with many walks of people in this world, those who have known my spirit, and in that I have no explanation to give. I feel no sorrow for who I am, and there is no school, book, teacher, judge, priest, father, mayor, Buddha, whatever you want to call them, Matthew, none of that to deter me from what my Creator is telling my spirit. One, what my mother and her mother and my grandmothers and foremothers taught me. Two, and then all that I know is only from what I've learned from you all. Three. So if in any of those three categories I am told to reverse, I received it and I gently sent rapidly back, thank you and no thank you. There's no schools or mythologies or stories that would trump those three things. The Creator tells my spirit, what my mothers and foremothers taught me, and also what you've given me. No matter how much you go back and you try to change it, or you try to put more crazy chaos out there. And it's so telling because the other day I coming across a TikTok video and I see a great mind being used in such a degrading way to take a mind as Mr. Jordan's himself, and then to hear him say something like there's a war and all this stuff out of space, another planet. And it was so far from what I've learned from him dating back 12 to 15 years ago. That whoever prompted him to say what he was saying was not the mind that I'm familiar with. And so I say to you, to those who are putting this technology out so fast that people are gathering it, I'm very cautious and mindful to stay away from new and stick to what is familiar. And not familiar as in, oh, I once read that book, familiar to my spirit, right? I only come in love and peace. And for that, to love my Creator and not to side with anyone's religion or points of view or ideology, if that makes me guilty, I am guilty as charged. But I see no reason to apologize about what my mother, what my forefathers and mothers and the Creator and what your history books taught me. I'm not hearing and speaking from a place that uh, is of my own teaching and learning, but from a place that is far more heavy weight it carries than just little old me. And for that, I see no reason to apologize about anything. I don't choose to argue and debate and all of this stuff. Again, I've seen history enough to know to stay away from manipulations and tactics that are used to start fights and wars among people and nations. Hmm? Because I've not from my own understanding, overstanding, yes, but from your understanding of your history books. You know, no matter how fast you try to change it in the last year, 5 years, 2 years, what is what is, and that is history. And you can't mix it up and combobble it in the last 5 years that I would forget again what the Creator and my mother and fathers and what your old history books, and most importantly, what the Old Testament and the books of old teaches. You know, I see no need to be moved from that, and I take that through life to grave, back to the beginning of life, um, in a discussion that I truly would have with the Creator and my mother and grandmothers and foremothers before. So I feel no shame or fear or any of that to share it with you. Um, Although I do know that there's no transparency, there's no honesty. We as a people have suppressed voices that don't match our ideology and others. And for that, we continue to have to build these walls generation after generation that only divides. And the walls of the mind, not just in physical life with your bridges and your actual walls, but um, before all this was carved out, life was a whole, right? That just belonged to Mother Earth and the Creator. And I guess the message that I'm saying from my spirit today is that that's what I stand on, period, point blank. And no need to fear, for fear is only fear of itself. And if you feel you have done me wrong, no worries. I don't need to sue you. I don't need to ridicule you. I don't need to drag your name. I'm sure I've told all of you that have done me wrong as I looked you in your eyes that I believe in something greater and higher, a higher purpose that is that knows right from wrong, regardless to what color or stamp or anyone who backs it. A lie is a lie. A story, and I don't care how many nations or people get behind that lie. I would never go against what my mother and foremothers taught me. I would never go against what the Creator have taught me. And I would never go against what your old books have taught me, no matter how much you change them and how fast you try to change them. That is my foundation. Yeah. And if as the Lord is my Creator, I stand witness and I stand on that. I bear witness to all that and I stand on that. Fall, sleep, and wake up to it again. And in that, I hope that there's understanding, love, peace. I don't wish to claim anybody's uh, background, heritage, culture. Um, just knows where mine is at home with, if that makes sense. Anyway, in closing, I would say shalom, blessed day, and again, may the Creator Spirit of love and charity and compassion spread faster than any other speed known to man. May you have a blessed day. Shalom. Shalom.